Whether it is your first time here or you are a regular viewer, welcome to Gingy Reacts, your home for trailer reactions, pop culture news, and movie reviews. And today we are focusing on the second part of that slogan with a brand new episode of Nerd News. Now this past week has seen developments spanning across the fandom multiverse, and it's only been the first week of 2023, which makes me wonder what else 2023 has in store for the fandoms we all love, with new releases, future trailers, and so much more. So with that, I'm your friendly neighborhood redhead Harry Sandbrook, and here are the 10 biggest nerd news stories of the past week. And if you want to kick off the new year with more geeky content, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to join the Nerd Notification Squad. Honorable mention, New Who News. November 23rd, 2023 marks the 60th anniversary of one of the greatest sci-fi TV shows of all time, Doctor Who, and there is quite a lot to look forward to. From Tennant and Tate returning to the TARDIS, Neil Patrick Harris in an unknown villain role, theories concerning other Doctor's appearances along with Ncuti Gatwa, and the new deal with Disney Plus, which increases the show's budget by, let's just say, a lot. Whovians didn't think this 60th anniversary could get any bigger. But just like the TARDIS, there is more than meets the eye. It has been reported from the UK newspaper The Mirror that along with the 60th anniversary special, Doctor Who fans will be treated to several 60s stories restored in colour, as well as 2 of Patrick Troughton's serials, including The Underwater Menace and The Smugglers, brought to life via animation. These episodes may just be exclusive to the UK, but given the new deal between Disney and Doctor Who, it would be interesting to get some classic Who stories on the streaming network. Number 10. Muppet Murder Mystery. Rian Johnson is most well known within 2 different franchises, the mixed-reviewed Star Wars The Last Jedi and the immensely popular Knives Out and its sequel Glass Onion: A Knives Out Mystery. But it was reported that Rian Johnson has started writing the 3rd and final installment in his murder mystery trilogy, which quickly led to fans fan-casting actors and setting the stage. However, among the plethora of ideas set within ski lodges and theaters, both Daniel Craig, who portrays Benoit Blanc, and Rian Johnson have extended their own fan cast, The Muppets. In a recent interview with Tadam, Johnson said, "It's a joke that I thought was pretty brilliant, and I ended up really giving it some serious thought. As much as I take the murder mystery genre seriously, I take the genre of a Muppet movie seriously." As someone who thinks Muppets make everything better, this crossover could potentially be a great one, as long as it doesn't go the same route as another puppet-based murder movie. I'm looking at you, Happy Time Murders. Number 9. Leslie Grace suits up. Before James Gunn took control of DC Studios alongside Peter Safran, Warner Bros. Was no stranger to cancelling slated projects, especially when they were completed. This hand was dealt to the HBO Max exclusive film Batgirl, which would have starred Leslie Grace as the heroine Batgirl, Brendan Fraser as Firefly, and even see Michael Keaton suit up once more as Batman. However, according to a report in The Hollywood Reporter, Batgirl found itself on the bad end of that decision, apparently neither big enough to feel worthy of a major theatrical release, nor small enough to make economic sense in an increasingly cutthroat streaming landscape. But that did not stop Grace, who recently shared an image of what could have been. This image of her shows her in what is called the final suit for the character. While the cancellation is sad, with a reboot coming soon for the DCEU, I would not be surprised if Gunn wanted to revive the project in the future. Number 8. Flashy news. From one DC hero to the next, the 2 biggest names to take on the Flash mantle are Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller, with both sides of this multiversal coin having major news stories respectively. With the Flash TV show ending after 9 seasons, making it the longest DC CW show, it was announced that there would be some returning faces such as Senthil Ramamurthy's Bloodwork, David Ramsey as John Diggle, Nicole Maines as Dreamer, Keenan Lonsdale as Wally West Kid Flash, and most notably, Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen the Green Arrow. Now all they need is Cisco and any of the Welleses, and Season 9 could potentially end on a high note. Over on the film side of the Scarlet Speedster, new promo art was released showcasing 4 of the characters of the new DCEU film, these being Sasha Cale's Supergirl, Michael Keaton in an updated version of his classic suit, Ezra Miller in his new Flash costume, and most notably, a Barry Allen doppelganger in a flashified version of Keaton's old suit, including the iconic neck piece which prevented Keaton from turning his neck. It was also reported that some Warner Bros. Executives want to keep Ezra as Barry Allen, which has caused quite a stir in the fanbase since Henry Cavill was recently released as Superman, and with Miller's controversial history, that outcome doesn't seem fair. In my mind, with James Gunn rebooting the DCEU and members of the Justice League being fired, quitting, or potentially recast, I would not be surprised if the same fate fell on Miller. Number 7. Ghostface takes over the New York subway. A movie that truly redefined the horror genre was the original Scream released in 1996, with its popularity spanning over 5 sequels, the most recent being Scream 5, which was released last year. However, Ghostface is seemingly taking a page out of Jason Voorhees' book and making his way to the Big Apple along with both new and familiar faces in Scream 6 set to debut this year. Recently, fans were treated to a new poster highlighting all the previous victims, with each highlighted track representing each movie. However, two things stick out. The first and most obvious is the name Kirby Reed, which has an X and is marked as closed. Actress Hayden Panettiere is set to reprise her role as Kirby, so this symbolizes her survival after the events of the fourth film. The second part is the name Stu Macher, who was played by the fantastic Matthew Lillard back in the original film. His name is very subtly shaded in, leading fans to speculate a return for the killer crushed by a television. Many who worked on the film have stated that Lillard's return is nothing but rumors, but it is interesting that this subtle color change could span such speculation. And being a fan of the original Scream and Lillard as a whole, along with legacy characters making comebacks in recent films, this is definitely one I would not mind seeing. Number 6. Huge Deadpool 3 news. The friendly banter between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman has made the pairing such a fun duo that the internet broke when Ryan Reynolds asked Hugh Jackman one simple question.
Hey Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Cue the Deadpool logo getting slashed with an adamantium claw, and there went the internet. And it appears Wolverine himself may have given away the title of the next Deadpool. On Twitter, Jackman posted a video talking about Reynolds' new movie Spirited and how the song Good Afternoon was shortlisted in the Best Song category, and went on to say that the next year would be hell if Reynolds won. However, during this video, Jackman says, "I have to spend a year with him shooting Wolverine and Deadpool." Reynolds even replied to this by saying, "Also, Wolverine and Deadpool, bub?" Now, in my mind, I think Reynolds means that Deadpool should be first since it's his movie, but that one sentence alone shows why this is one of the most anticipated movies in the MCU. Number 5. The Evil Dead Rise Again. One of the most infamous franchises in the horror genre is none other than The Evil Dead, which has brought us a trilogy and 3-season show starring everyone's favorite chainsaw-wielding, double-barrel shotgun-toting hero Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams, as well as a solid reboot/sequel in the form of 2013's Evil Dead. But just like the evil in those movies, they don't stay down for too long. Recently, Warner Bros. Has dropped trailers and a new poster for the next installment in the franchise entitled Evil Dead Rise, taking the horror from a remote cabin to an apartment block in LA, which holds our heroines as they encounter the evil within the pages of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, now with additional teeth. This movie looks like pure bloody insanity, especially if you watch the Red Band trailer, and could potentially be one of the best horror movies of 2023 and be both gruesome and groovy. Number 4. The Name's Johnson, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Ever since Daniel Craig's emotional departure as James Bond at the end of No Time to Die, the film ended with the caption "James Bond will return," which led many fans of Britain's most famous spy to wonder, who will be next to take on the 007 mantle? Names such as Idris Elba, Tom Hardy, Henry Cavill, and Tom Holland have been floating around, but it seems as though there is a new front-runner. According to GameSpot, Bullet Train star Aaron Taylor Johnson met with the James Bond series producer Barbara Broccoli to discuss the role, with them citing that the meeting went well, with them also noting that Johnson fits the mold for what they are looking for, a younger male British actor. While nothing is confirmed, Johnson has shown his action chops in projects such as Kick-Ass, Age of Ultron, Bullet Train, and later this year in the next Spidey spin-off Kraven the Hunter. Johnson seems to be a fan favourite, and time will tell if he will be the next to sit in the driver's seat of the Aston Martin. Number 3. Secret Wars equals Phase 6's Endgame. Marvel Phase 4 wasn't well liked among some within the MCU fanbase, but with Phase 4 in the past, fans eagerly looked towards the future, with Phase 5 starting off in February with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. But recent news may have caused more excitement for a project further down the line, that being Avengers Secret Wars, which is slated to release May 1st, 2026. According to a report by Heavy Spoilers, Secret Wars will feature the visiting of different universes within the multiverse in a similar way to how the Avengers in Endgame execute the time heist by visiting different points in time. There have been so many names flying around about who is returning, such as Hugh Jackman, who I previously mentioned will be in Deadpool 3, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as their respective Spider-Man, and so many more within Marvel projects outside the main MCU. With a title such as the Multiverse Saga, this could be one hell of a way to cap it all off. Number 2, 13 years later. At the time of this recording, Avatar: The Way of Water is currently the 10th highest grossing film of all time, with $1.516 billion, making it the highest grossing film of 2022. But I'm willing to bet by the time this video comes out that the ranking will change, so shout out to my future self for making the adjustment. But with Avatar making all this money, this means that the film has finally broke even, which also means audiences will be treated to the third installment, Avatar the Seedbearer, set to release December 20th, 2024, and James Cameron has revealed details towards the next group of characters we will meet in the threequel. According to Cameron himself, the Na'vi will encounter a fire tribe called the Ash People, with him stating, "The fire will be represented by the Ash People. I want to show the Na'vi from another angle because, so far, I've only shown their good side. In the early films, there are very negative human examples and very positive Na'vi examples. In Avatar 3, we will do the opposite." It sounds as though we will experience the darker side of the Na'vi in Avatar 3, and luckily, we won't have to wait another 13 years to see it happen. And number 1, update on the Purple Archer. I want to end today's list by giving an update on Jeremy Renner, who was involved in a snowplow incident on New Year's Day. Renner was in critical but stable condition, having both blunt chest trauma and orthopedic injuries. However, the surgeries were a success as Renner posted a picture of himself on Instagram with the caption reading, "Thank you all for your kind words. I'm too messed up now to type, but I send love to you all." He then also posted a video in which his mum was giving him a head massage, which was truly heartwarming. I wish Renner a safe and healthy recovery, and my thoughts are with his friends and family. And that's our list for today's episode of Nerd News. Which piece of news was your favorite piece? Let me know in the comments, and also make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to join the Nerd Notification Squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.